Hey guys, this video is going to be for tall guys, abnormally tall, above 6'5" or maybe 6'4", but I'm 6'6" or 6'7", so we were kayak camping last weekend, and before I put everything away, I just thought that maybe I could help you if you're trying to put together something to do something on the Appalachian Trail, or really any backpacking trip. Anyway, this isn't really a tall person thing, but I just wanted to recommend Watershed dry bags to you. This one I think is the Animus or something, but it has real nice sturdy backpack straps and a hip belt. Really great stuff. I'm gonna start with the shelter. Okay, this is the Cimarron, Seek Outside Cimarron. It's in other videos, and this is actually a 4-person shelter, and I think it weighs, the canopy is 36 ounces. I keep my guidelines for it and everything, stakes already in there. And this is a aftermarket bag, but I don't like having to spend much time compressing things and rolling it up. So if it's really wet and soggy, I just put it in here and it kind of at least separates it somewhat from my other stuff. So I would carry that normally. And this is the 2-person nest for it, which is a bug net that covers half of the 4-person teepee, and it has a ground cloth included, bug netting. And so this setup right here, at least one of the setups we're gonna go over, is for 2 people. So keep that in mind. But if you're a really big guy like me and I don't like to be cramped, I like to stand up and change and stuff, the 4-person for a couple of pounds. And then I have a lighter option if it's just a solo. You can get, I have a 6 Moon Designs. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's just a simple little 1-person bug net that weighs 11 or 12 ounces. This is 26 or 27 ounces for that. But yeah, keep in mind, this is a 2+ person shelter setup. This is the X-Lite, the Thermarest Max, X-Lite Max, and I'm 6.5 feet tall. I don't even really need the length. I just like the rectangular shape and the extra width. We use quilts, and I just find this much more comfortable. I have plenty of room to sleep on my side and toss and turn. And this only weighs, I think this is right at 1 pound. And for the summertime, we've been using quilts for a little while, and this is the Enlightened Equipmnt quilt, one of their many good designs. This one's the Enigma. I think that's the name of it. It doesn't have a zipper at the foot. It's just basically a sleeping bag, 3/4 length with no zipper or hood. But this one's 50 degree, and this is a long, wide, I believe. I thought it might have said it somewhere here. But anyway, this is a long and a wide, and this is a 12-ounce quilt right here, but it's plenty warm enough for me. And you know, the way that they design these is you have a head hole here, and it has a cinch cord where you can tuck it up around you, and then look how long that is. You know, plenty of room. I can even pull this one all the way over my head there and still get my feet in. And if I'm sleeping on my side, I can, you know, bend my legs, and I can still cover my butt. And so this is a 12-ounce summer setup that is really sweet. And this one was a Seconds. It has a sewing blemish on it. So check their clearance and overstock type of stuff, because it can save you some money. And usually they're, you know, you can get them quick too, which is nice, instead of having to wait a month or so sometimes. So that's the Enlightened Equipmnt quilt, and it packs down super small. So that would be basically a summer person for 2 if you carry the whole tent there. The next thing for a tall guy, or probably the most important thing, is the backpack. And I've searched around. A good friend of mine has owned an outdoor store for 20 years. So I've been shopping and trying packs and options and all the Gregory's and you know, Ospreys, and there's tons of great packs out there, but not necessarily all do as well for someone that's 6'6" or 6'7". And this pack This is the XL, and this is for 24-inch torsos or above, and I'm right at about 24-inch. And this one gives me plenty of leeway to go up or down a little bit depending on how it's packed. But this pack has been real durable so far. I got this one on their clearance. It was a last year's color model. Oftentimes the camo will be that way, and you know, I take it, I actually like it. So the Ohm 2.0 by ULA has been my backpacking pack, or when I'm going with the family or something like that where I need a little extra room. Standard roll top feature, so that's super nice and easy. You know, just clip it on. It's got, you can look on their website if you're interested, but it's a great pack. I highly recommend it. And the little brother of that one, if you're going on a weekend or you're really an ultralight person, then you could substitute that shelter there, the Cimarron, or if you're going alone, and you could carry a tarp or a bug net or a lighter tent. There's plenty of good ones out there, Z-Packs, and you know, I don't know, Six Moons Designs make some good ones. There's plenty of options, tarp tent. But this is around 12 ounce for this tarp, and it has room for 3 people, or at least you to sprawl out. So that would be if you're a minimalist person or you just wanted to save a lot of weight and space, then you could switch to a smaller, lighter pack, the ULA CDT, which is many of the same features except this is frameless, so it's got about a 20, 25 pound comfort limit on it. But switch into from the TP and that bug net, 2-person bug net setup, to a tarp or a smaller tent, a teeny little Big Agnes or something. But that's, you gotta be careful with big guys with that. So I carry a bigger shelter. I would never get a 1-person ultralight tent for me. Even some 2-persons are really, really small these days. So I'm gonna pack these up, and first we'll pack up, oh, there was one other thing too. The only difference between the winter and the summer for me here primarily would be I would switch it, and this is if it's 20 degrees or below. I would switch to the X-Therm, which is the same brand, the Thermarest X-Therm. It's just a little bit better R value, a little more insulated, and that's the standard mummy shape. So, and this is, I've got to take it out because I just wanted to show you the tag. This is UGQ, and I hadn't heard of them up until a few years ago when I was looking at getting my first quilt. So this is the height of this one. This is also an extra long and a tall, and this is plenty of room for me, and this is a 10-degree bag, so that is what I would use in the winter time. That and the X-Therm would really be the only changes. So I'm gonna pack these up in a bag, and then we'll throw them on the scale and just see how much they weigh. Okay, so I'm gonna put all of it in this pack. And I forgot to mention too, I'm gonna put my poncho in there, which isn't the lightest poncho. This one just works well for me for going over a pack like this, and it also kind of doubles as a shelter, but I use it as my ground cloth also, so that's kind of where the poncho is. But I'm just gonna jam, and I don't use many stuff sacks. I mean, you can, depending on some things, but it's nice just not having to spend so much time getting it into the stuff sack, which is super nice. So I'm also gonna throw my pot in there, and my pocket rocket stove, and some gas, you know. And I've got some cream brulee. Put that in there. This is a brand new Sawyer squeeze, which we've been using for a while. I wouldn't take the plunger and this case, obviously, but I'll just put that all in there too. And should have put that in there first, but your waterproof bag, you can use just a trash bag if you want for that too. My pot lid, and there was a headlamp over here. Headlamp. So that's basically all the crucial items minus the food and the water that you need. So I'm gonna put this on the scale and just see how much it weighs. 11.8 11.88. So under 12 pounds, a little over 11 3/4. And that's being, you know, I threw it, you saw what I put in there. You could trim a little bit of weight off of that for sure. And that's no clothes, but usually in the summertime, all you'd be using for clothes would be maybe an extra pair of shorts to change into in town or something like that, or if you got too funky, and you know, maybe a lightweight rain jacket or some extra socks. Definitely you'd have that, but minimal clothing. So this is 11 pounds. You got room to spare in this pack, and that's super comfortable, and I could easily take a pound out. So what I'm gonna do, and remember this has a 4-person shelter in it with 2 people covered with a bug net, so you have to keep that in mind. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take that out like if I was just going solo and trying to do 35-mile days. I'm gonna put it in the smaller, lighter pack with the war bonnet tarp substituted for this 4-person shelter, and then we'll put that on the scale and see what that weighs. Okay, well now I'm gonna put it all like an ultralight summertime in this ULA CDT. And I just substituted out the Seek Outside Cimarron, and I'm gonna put this war bonnet. I think it's the Mama Jamba, or something like that. But it's about a 12 ounce tarp, and it covers enough for 3 people to lay in there. And it's an easy to pitch. There's none of their gear out here, but I had to mention Feathered Friends too, because they're worth mentioning. I think they're out of Seattle, and I have some of their bags that are amazing. It's just not in this kit. But ULA and Seek Outside and Thermarest, and also the Watershed dry bags, they're all made in the USA, which is big to me. And usually you pay more for those items, but this pack was maybe $130, and this Ohm pack was on sale for $163. So compared to you know, like an Osprey or some Dana Design or Mystery Ranch, or you know, just some other of your big name packs, it's cheaper than most of the good quality ones I've found. And so we're gonna weigh this thing now with the tarp instead of the TP. So 7.58, basically 7.5 pounds for this, and I mean, I can barely tell I'm holding it. I mean, it's almost a anti-gravitational. You don't need any kind of big frame or anything for that, and I have plenty of room in this. I could easily put extra clothes and more rain gear and plenty of food. Got water bottles on the side. My hip pockets are empty. Could have water bottles here. So I mean, even this little pack at 7.5 pounds, you still have plenty of room for a bivvy you could put in there. Absolutely. So, and it's got this huge mesh stretch thing where, you know, it's just it's plenty of room in here for that, and that is super comfortable at 7.5 pounds base weight minus your food and water. So basically, also the only thing that would change in the winter time as far as the weights goes for these tall people would be the X-Therm mattress that I use in the winter actually weighs the same as the yellow X-Therm Max that I use in the summer. So the weight on the Thermarest wouldn't change at all. It's only adding a pound or, you know, so of down in that beefier quilt that changes the weight. So I've done it, and you can do it. You can put a winter quilt in this pack and go like that. But usually if it's the winter, you might want to have a hat and thicker socks, and so your space will get tight. So the ohm would come into play there. But the only difference really in weight for the winter core gear is the weight of the added down in that different quilt. So I just wanted to suggest those items. Good USA companies, and they're affordable. Check out their clearance section, overstocks, and things like that. But for tall people like me, I had to search and try years worth of things and spent too much money on things that I ended up selling or gifting away because they weren't ideal. So just keep these in mind and check out their websites. And all of them are highly recommended. I've had 0 failures on any of this equipment. So appreciate your time and hope it can help.